Morning guys, and happy Easter, if you celebrate Easter. Today I'm going to make the school bread, which is that recipe from the Norway pavilion at Disney World. And basically it's a sweet roll with some vanilla custard on the inside. A lot of the recipes call for vanilla pudding, and you can absolutely do that, but we're going to make a quick vanilla custard. And if that doesn't work out, I had the pudding just in case, if it doesn't thicken enough, that we have as a backup. But I'll show you guys the ingredients. So we have some eggs, milk, sugar, some vanilla, coconut, butter, cardamom, yeast, flour, and powdered sugar. This recipe does take a while because obviously with the yeast you're going to have to let the bread proof. So it's going to take probably 2 hours to do this recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is get our dough started and let it to proof for a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do that, I don't know what I'm saying, is to heat up some of the milk and the butter. And I'll give you guys the measurements ahead of time like I have. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is heat up 1/4 cup of butter, which is just a half stick, and 1.5 cups of milk in this saucepan. And we're going to let this, bring it to like a medium-high heat and let everything combine so the butter will melt fully and the milk will come to a slight simmer. And then we're going to turn it off and let it set aside and cool down to about room temperature. Alright, so our milk is starting to form some bubbles. The butter is nice and melted, so we're going to take this out of here and put it right into our mixer. First of all, can we just admire this beautiful mint green mixer? I love it. It's the best. It was a wedding gift, I believe, from my grandma and my aunt. I love it. And so when we're going to be doing this, let's set aside the dough hook because this is we're making bread. So this is the attachment you would use. So we're going to let this cool down a little bit. It says to cool down to finger warm, so when you can put your finger in it, it doesn't burn. And then we're going to add our sugar and our yeast. So this will probably take about, I don't know, 15 minutes to cool down. So it's all right. All right, so that's cooled enough. We're going to add our 1/2 cup of sugar. All right, and 1 packet, so it's about, if you don't have these packets, 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. We're going to add that in there, and we're just going to mix this up a little bit gently. Help it dissolve. We're going to let this set for another 10 minutes until the yeast starts to bubble. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. As you can see, it's nice and bubbled. That was my timer. It was a little bit early, but it's nice and bubbly. Looks pretty kind of creepy, like a science experiment, but that's okay. So I've measured out 2 teaspoons of cardamom, and then we're going to add 4 cups of flour gradually and mix it in. Right, so we have all of our flour added in there. It's ready to pull away from the bowl. I'm just going to turn it off, just scrape the sides and let it mix a little bit more, and then we're going to let it proof in a greased bowl. Alright, so there's our dough ball. We're going to move it into this bowl, which I greased with some vegetable oil, and then we're going to top it with this. Alright, so our bowl is nice and covered, and we're going to let it proof for an hour until it reaches double its size. Well, good thing I bought that pudding mix, because I didn't have enough eggs to make custard, so I need to save some for egg wash on top of the rolls, so it's always good to have a backup. It's not as good as making a custard. We'll make one another day. But I guess it's always good to have a backup plan. I'm very thankful that I bought that because I don't obviously want to go to the grocery store. So yeah, we got that going. So I've just made the pudding mix and I'm just going to refrigerate it. Alright, so this is doubled in size. Isn't that crazy how yeast is amazing? So we're going to push this down. Alright, and then we're going to move it to a floured surface and we're going to knead it out. Alright, so we have this on our floured surface. We're going to knead this a little bit. Just help it become firm and not as sticky, and that's going to help work the gluten. And then we're going to roll it into a long rope and cut it in. Alright, so I cut this in half, so we're going to cut each of these balls. We're going to roll it out thin, and then we're going to cut it into 6 portions per each. Alright, so we cut our pieces. We're going to turn them into, we're going to kind of stretch them and roll them into like a circle. I can't really do it with my hand, with one-handed, but it's going to be into a circular shape. We're going to tuck all the dough underneath each other and create a ball. So we're going to go kind of like this. I'm trying to do this really awkwardly. And tuck it into a little ball like that. So we have our little buns. Nice buns. Soft buns. Woo-woo. Okay, actually they're firm. So we just rolled those out. We're gonna put them on a sheet tray that I already lined with a silicone mat, and then we're gonna cover it again with that kitchen towel for another 30 minutes. And our last proof over here. And I'm also gonna toast up some coconut so it can cool down so we can garnish. All right, so I got our coconut all nice and toasted. We'll let that cool down. We're gonna crack an egg and use it as egg wash. So I'm gonna get that set up. Okay. All right, I have 2 eggs cracked actually. I added a little bit of cold water for our egg wash. And then I have 6 tablespoons of sugar in here. I probably shouldn't have that in there. And we're gonna add some water just to create a glaze. Actually, maybe we'll do some milk because I have a little bit left. No, we'll do water. Okay. Yes, we're gonna do milk because I only have a little bit left and I don't want it to sit in my fridge because it's not enough to have cereal. All right, we're gonna transfer our pudding into, hold on, let me turn the dishwasher off. Okay. We're gonna transfer our pudding into a pastry bag. So those are our nice buns. They definitely have risen even more. So we're gonna brush these with egg wash and then bake them for 15 minutes. All right, I'm gonna split these into 2 pans too because I do not know how much these are gonna rise. And they have their egg wash, so we're gonna pop these in for 15 minutes at 375. All right, so our buns are ready. We're gonna take them out and let them cool. So our buns are all nice and baked. I did break into one just to make sure it was baked enough. And then Tim ate it, and me too. It was delicious. So we're gonna let these cool a little bit, and then we are gonna cut a little hole in the top because our custard's gonna go inside. And then we're gonna top it with some of that coconut, and then a little nice, because we used the star tip of the pastry bag, the pastry tip, what am I saying? And we're gonna do a little garnish on top. So we're gonna let these cool. All right, so I just cut a little hole in the top of these and remove some of the bread. I'm gonna save the bread though. Maybe we'll make bread pudding or something with it. Or just dip it into the leftover pudding I'm gonna have. So I'm gonna let these cool a little bit longer. They're still a little bit warm, not crazy. And which I would recommend that you hollow them out when they're not warm. They felt cool to me, so just make sure they're completely cool. And then we're gonna add a little bit of the custard. We're gonna top it with the coconut and sugar and then do a little pipe of the rest of the custard. All right, so I have our dunking station. So it's our powdered sugar mixed with the milk and our coconut. So we're gonna try not to get too much in here. That's okay. We're gonna add the custard after. I feel like it'll be too much of a mess. We're gonna dunk it in the sugar mixture and then... Alright, so they're nice and garnished with that coconut. The sugar glaze helped keep it sticking. So now we're gonna add our custard. Or, well, pudding. Alright, so I filled them with that custard and now they have a little bit of the star tip kind of signature look of the pudding on top. But what do you guys think? I think they turned out really well. They look just like the ones from the Norway pavilion. Let me put one in the light so you can kind of see it better. I might have just oversaturated it. Hold on. Yeah, that looks awesome. Oh, I'm really happy with these. But yeah, what did you guys think? Thought that was a pretty fun video. I'm going to drop some of these off at my parents' house because it's actually my dad's favorite. I figured it'd be a nice little Easter bunny dropping it off there. But yeah, that was what we're doing for today. I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's something else you want to see. Thank you for everything. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, especially if you're a Disney fan, because this was a very easy recipe to make. I'll make sure to write the ingredients down and the ratios and all of that, and then you can kind of follow step by step as far as the baking process. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and have a good night.